Hello, students. Good day. I hope you are staying safe at home. You are welcome to our BSc Chemistry class for today. This class is for JSS2, and our topic today says rate of a chemical reaction. Rate of chemical reaction. And our objectives for this lesson are as follows. That at the end of this lesson, you should be able to define the rate of a chemical reaction, explain factors that affect the rate of a chemical reaction, and also solve simple problems involving the rate of chemical reaction. So these are our objectives, and I believe God that by the end of this lesson, all of us would have been able to do justice to these objectives. Okay, let's look at chemical reaction or rate of chemical reaction. When you hear the word rate, what does it mean? Or what comes to your mind? When I hear the word rate, what comes to my mind is speed. And when I talk about speed, I'm talking about how fast or how slow an event occurs. If dad is driving in his car, there is a speed at which he is driving or at which he drives his car. And this speed is what we call what? Rate. Now, when you want to eat, assume you want to prepare your noodles, there is also a time for a particular quantity of that noodle to get done. If you want to prepare one sachet of noodle, let's take for instance Indomie noodles. By 2-3 minutes, one sachet of Indomie noodles should be on the table for consumption. That is the rate. The rate is 2 minutes per sachet or one sachet per 2 minutes. So the rate at which something or an event takes place is what we call reaction rate. So for a reaction rate or a chemical reaction, we're talking about the time taken for a particular reaction to occur. So let's look at it holistically. What is the rate of a chemical reaction? The rate of a chemical reaction can be defined as the number of moles, that is, the quantity of reactant converted or products produced per unit time. I wouldn't want to go back to explain to you what a reactant and a product is. We have done it in the previous weeks. So we said that a reactant is the species that are involved in a chemical reaction, while the products are the end result of a chemical reaction. So when we say reactant or products, or when we're talking about chemical reaction or the rate of a chemical reaction, we can measure it using the number of what products produced or number of reactants used up. I hope this is making sense to you. Okay, let's take another example. When you want to cook 1 cup of rice, within a few minutes or 30-40 minutes, your 1 cup of rice should be done, ready to be consumed or ready to be eaten. Now, when you have a larger quantity, it will take a greater period of time for that quantity of rice to get done. What it simply means is, if it takes 20 minutes for 1 cup of rice to get done, that means if you have 2 cups of rice, it will take 40 minutes. It's as simple as that. So the rate of a chemical reaction is the time taken for a particular amount of the reactants to be converted to the product, or for a particular amount of the product to be formed from the reactants. I hope this is making sense to you? I repeat again, the rate of a chemical reaction is the time taken, or can be defined as the number of moles of reactant converted or products produced per unit time. Okay, I hope you are writing down this definition. Okay, let's look at this example. Say, consider the following reaction in which zinc reacts with hydrochloric acid to produce zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. Now, in the previous lessons, when we did activity series, I was able to explain to you that zinc is higher than hydrogen in the activity series. Therefore, zinc readily replaces hydrogen from its compounds. Zinc readily replaces hydrogen from its compounds. So look at the equation on the board. Zn solid plus 2HCl aqueous reacting to give us zinc ZnCl2 plus H2. So we have zinc plus hydrochloric acid reacting to give us zinc chloride plus hydrogen gas. Now, this is a typical equation of a reaction. Now, for us to calculate the rate of this reaction, which is on this board, there are 4 possible equations with which we can use to explain the rate or to ascertain the rate of these reactions. So let's look at these 4 equations. Number 1, we can say that rate of this reaction is equal to the amount of zinc. Remember, zinc is a reactant converted over time taken. I repeat again, zinc is a reactant. So we can say the rate of this reaction or of that reaction is equal to the amount of zinc converted over time taken for this zinc to be converted. Or rate is equal to amount of HCl converted. Remember, HCl is also a reactant. We have 2 reactants from that equation. We have zinc chloride, zinc plus hydrochloric acid. These are the 2 reactants. Zinc is one reactant, hydrochloric acid is another reactant. So now we are looking at the first 2 equations explained that of the reactant being converted. So we can say that the rate of a chemical reaction is the amount of zinc converted over time taken for this amount of zinc to be converted, or the rate of a chemical reaction is the amount of hydrochloric acid converted over time taken for this hydrochloric acid to be converted. Now that is for the reactant side. So we can ascertain the rate of a chemical reaction from the reactant side. Going over to the product side, let's look at the product we got from this equation. Look at the products. The equation gave us zinc chloride plus hydrogen gas. Zinc chloride plus hydrogen gas. So this zinc chloride and hydrogen gas are the products, while zinc and hydrochloric acid are the reactants. So looking at this equation, we can say that is equation number 3 now. We say that amount of or rate of chemical reaction or rate of this reaction is equal to amount of zinc chloride produced over time taken for the zinc chloride to be produced. Or rate is equal to amount of hydrogen gas produced over time taken for this hydrogen gas to be produced. Please pardon me, this 2 in hydrogen gas is supposed to be a subscript. I have taught you what a subscript and a superscript are, or what they are. So please, in your notes, kindly correct it. It's a typo. Okay. So mathematically, we can say that rate of a chemical reaction is equal to change in concentration in mole per dm cube over time taken for the change. Did that enter? I believe so. I said again, rate of a chemical reaction mathematically can be said to be change in concentration, whether increase or decrease in mole per dm cube over time taken for the change to occur. Let's look at this classwork. Okay, the question says, when 1 gram of calcium triiosocarbonate 4 was added to excess hydrochloric acid, carbon 4 oxide was evolved. The entire reaction lasted for 5 minutes. Look now, time has been given to us. When 1 gram of triiosocarbonate 4 was calcium triiosocarbonate 4 was added to excess hydrochloric acid, carbon 4 oxide was evolved. Remember, carbon 4 oxide is a gas. The entire reaction lasted for 5 minutes. They said calculate the reaction rate. Okay, here on your screen you have the equation of reaction, where we have CaCO3 plus 2HCl yielding CaCl2 plus H2O plus CO2. So these are the products of this reaction. Now we are looking at when 1 gram of this, or the rate at which this calcium triiosocarbonate 4 was converted to CO2. So looking at this, they told us that the reaction lasted for 5 minutes. The reaction lasted for 5 minutes. Therefore, what it means is that every 1 minute, a particular amount of this triiosocarbonate 4 was converted. Every 1 minute, a particular amount was converted. So we are going to calculate the amount or the rate of this reaction as the question says. The question says calculate the reaction rate if the reaction actually lasted for what? 5 minutes. Okay, look at the solution. We say that the solution rate is equal to amount of reactant used up over time taken. So our amount of reactant is actually 1 gram. The amount of reactant is 1 gram and the time for the reaction is 5 minutes. So our rate is equal to 1 over 5, or 1 gram over 5 minutes. So if you do the calculation, you will get 0.2. Actually, 1 over 5 is equal to 0.2. I'm not supposed to say it to you again. At this level, I believe your mathematics teacher have done justice to that. Okay, so 1 over 5 is equal to 0.2 gram per minute. Therefore, what it means is that for every 1 minute, 0.2 grams was what? Converted to what? CO2. Did that help at all? I said that from this equation, or from the solution we got, we can say that for every 1 minute, 0.2 grams of calcium triiosocarbonate 4 was converted to what? Calcium chloride plus CO2 plus water. Is that taken? Okay. We have other examples. You get it in your notes in the Google Classroom. Let's look at factors that affect the rate of a chemical reaction. Factors that affect the rate of a chemical reaction. Okay, there are 6 factors here which I enumerated out. One of them is the nature of the reactant. The second one is concentration of reactant. Third one is surface area of contact. Fourth one is temperature, effect of light, and effect of catalyst. Effect of light and effect of catalyst. Let me do a simple explanation on this. Nature of reactant. So the type of reactant or the nature of this reactant also affects the rate of a chemical reaction. Okay, let's go back to the activity series, where I told you that the most reactive metal is potassium. The most reactive metal is potassium. Now, potassium being the most reactive metal, it readily displaces hydrogen from its compounds. It readily displaces hydrogen from its compounds. We have also done displacement reaction. So, since potassium readily displaces hydrogen from its compound, once you put potassium metal inside a compound, take for instance HCl containing hydrogen, the vigorous nature with which this reaction takes place will tell you that the nature of this reactant is, or the reactant itself, or the potassium metal is very, very active compared to when you are using another metal like lead, which is also lower than potassium in the activity series. So nature of reactant also affects the rate of a chemical reaction. If it is a reactant that is very, very reactive, it can easily or it can make the reaction run very, very fast. Okay, let's take for instance again, I'm going back to your kitchen. At 100 degrees C, your water starts boiling. I repeat again, at 100 degrees C, your water starts boiling. Okay, we use water to cook both indomie, your noodles. We use both water to cook your noodles and water to cook rice. Now, but because the noodles are softer than rice, you see that once you start cooking, before the rice will even start boiling, your noodle is already set for eating. So the nature of the noodle affects the rate of what is reaction. So the rate of a chemical reaction is affected by what? The nature of the reactant. If you have a reactant that is very unreactive, you have a longer period of time for the reaction to be complete. Another factor which affects the rate of a chemical reaction is the concentration of the reactant. Okay, there is something we call collision. For reaction to occur, you are going to do that in your senior secondary chemistry. But let me just bring it to your notice that for a reaction to occur, there has to be collision. Collision, when I mean collision, I mean jamming of the reactant particles. That means this particle will come and jam with this particle for there to be what? A reaction taking place. So concentration. Now when you spread out, you see that the rate of collision will what? Reduce. Just imagine where they say, okay, the whole of JSS2, all of you come into one class and sit down. When I mean the whole of JSS2, I mean JSS2 A, B, C, and D into one class of maybe JSS2A. You see that for you to maneuver your way out of that class without touching anybody is very, very rare. But assuming there are just 5 of you, you see that for you people to collide, it's also very, very rare. So for there to be collision, the concentration has to be high. And when the concentration is high, the rate of reaction is very, very fast. I hope that is making sense to you. Concentration increases the rate of what? A chemical reaction. So the higher the concentration, the higher the rate of chemical reaction. Now let's look at surface area of contact. Surface area of contact. Bring your soap, bring your detergent, put the two of them inside water. Tell me which of them that will produce letter first. You see that the detergent will be foaming as if its life depends on it. Pardon that language. Before the soap even starts foaming. Why is this? Because the particles of the detergent are all making contact with the water at the same time. So once you put detergent inside water, all the surface areas are open. So water is touching all of them at the same time and they are reacting with the water. Now the soap, the only surface that is making contact with the water is the outer layer. So the surface area of contact of the reactant also affects the rate of a chemical reaction. I hope that has entered. Okay, another factor that affects the rate of a chemical reaction is temperature. The higher the temperature, the higher the rate of a chemical reaction. Most reactions does not take place in cold temperature. The temperature has to be increased for that reaction to take place. And a typical example is magnesium and water. Magnesium does not react with cold water, but once you warm the water a bit, the reaction takes place, producing magnesium hydroxide. Okay, that is for temperature. Now, effect of light. There are some reactions that are light-based, that they cannot take place in the absence of light. One of them is the production of triacylchloroethane acid. Triacylchloroethane acid. So when water reacts with HCl, it produces triacylchloroethane acid, the one we use in producing our hypo. Now that reaction is from when you introduce sunlight to the HOCl, triacylchloroethane acid. When sunlight is introduced, there is production of oxygen. This reaction is light-based. It is purely light-based. When there is no light, this reaction will not take place. So this substance decomposes, producing oxygen and HCl. So this is another type of reaction in which light affects its rate. So the more the light, the higher the rate of reaction. The lesser the light, the lesser the rate of reaction. Another aspect or another factor which affects the rate of a chemical reaction is catalyst. What is a catalyst? A catalyst is a substance which alters the rate of a reaction but itself remains unchanged at the end of that reaction. I repeat again, a catalyst is a substance which alters the rate of a chemical reaction but itself remains unchanged at the end of that reaction. I would want to use a marriage situation in the church. I know most of you must have attended weddings where the reverend father or the pastor or the preacher, as you people call it, will come and join two people together and say, now go and become husband and wife. Now that preacher or that reverend father or that pastor is a catalyst. He was involved in the reaction, but at the end of the reaction he goes his own way. He does nothing concerns him with the marriage again. Now, effect of a catalyst alters the rate of a chemical reaction. We have two types of catalyst, the positive catalyst and the negative catalyst. There are positive catalysts. These catalysts are those ones which increase the rate of a chemical reaction. And there are also negative catalysts, those ones which inhibit or which reduces the rate of a chemical reaction. I repeat again, a positive catalyst increases the rate of a chemical reaction, while a negative catalyst reduces the rate of a chemical reaction. So whichever one it is, it alters the rate of a chemical reaction. So a catalyst affects the rate of a chemical reaction. There are some reactions which are very slow in process. Now when you add some catalyst, in most reactions we use nickel as catalyst. Some occasions we use H2SO4, vanadium 5-oxide, and so on and so forth. Now these catalysts, what they do is that they affect the rate, or they make the reaction to occur very fast, or they make the reaction to occur very slow. So they alter the rate of a chemical reaction. So this is what catalyst does in a chemical reaction. So these are the 6 factors that affect the rate of a chemical reaction. Post your question in our Google Classroom. I will be there to provide you with answers. So see you next time, and God bless you. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you.